I believe in raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and I'm not just talking the talk, I'm also walking the walk. We're paying even our interns on this campaign a minimum wage of $15 an hour. Because if we're going to say that other people should do it, then we need to do it too.
I live in an amazing city, in an amazing community. I'm proud to be the only one in this election living in a black and brown inner city neighborhood, and right now the median income is below the poverty line. I see my neighbors who work full-time jobs but still need food stamps at our local bodega. Shahad Smith, who I lived with in the projects for almost 10 years, was murdered with an assault rifle at the top of my block. I live in a country where black men like me were 6% of the nation's population, but we make up over half of all the homicide victims in this country. We live in a nation right now that if you're born in communities like mine, this deck is stacked against you. We have got to make this a nation where the dream and the ideals of this country work for every American, where we live up to our ideals that all men and women are created equal, where the oath we pledge are not just words from our mouths, but a reality in America that we are a nation of liberty and justice for all.
Nationally, literally, it has been nearly a decade, and we have not had an increase to the federal minimum wage. That is an outrage. The second thing we need to do is make sure we address income inequality and racial inequality, right? And that means everything from housing policy, which has gotten way too expensive for a lot of people, to child care policy, including early childhood, to making sure that we are giving people the benefits that they deserve. And especially in this economy the way it is now, we've got to make it easier for people to bring their benefits with them wherever they go.
We're still not where we need to be in Flint, Michigan, and in so many communities across this country. So I want those who will head these agencies who will be vigorous in pursuit of the law, enforcement of the law, and will put the public health and welfare first beyond anything else. I also want to make sure that our cabinet and the entire executive branch reflects the diversity, the ingenuity, the genius of a country of 330 million people.
The mantra of our campaign is not me, but us. And the reason for that is not just that it sounds like a good bumper sticker. The reason for that is that's the simple truth. No president, no matter how well-intentioned or honest he or she may be, can do it alone. So I'm going to tell you what very few people will tell you, is that the power of Wall Street, the power of the fossil fuel industry who lies to us every day about climate change, the power of the insurance companies, of the pharmaceutical companies, of the military-industrial complex, that power is so great that the only way we defeat it is when millions of people, black and white and Latino, Native American, Asian American, gay and straight, immigrant and native born, unless we come together and say to Trump that those days of hatred and divisiveness is over, we're going to bring our country together to fight for an agenda that works for all of us and not just the people on top.
Well, I am proud to support statehood for Washington, D.C. I don't think you should have a big group of people that don't have anyone to represent them in Congress. And it's that simple. It means that you have many, many people that actually don't have a say over these important federal policies that influence their lives every day. It's also about people who aren't represented right, like getting Puerto Rico their money for that horrible damage that they had, the storm. It is also about voting rights, and look at what's been going on since the Supreme Court stepped in and took back a big chunk of that Voting Rights Act. You see what's happened in so many of these states. One great example of that, North Carolina, where the Circuit Court said they actually had discriminated with, and this is an exact quote, surgical precision, right? That's what's happening in our country to African Americans. That's what's happening to Latinos, to so many people that have a right to have a say at the table. because what they always say in Washington is if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Then the single greatest mechanism that humankind has ever devised to call forth the power of the people, a democracy, must be fixed. That's why, as president, I will sign into law a new Voting Rights Act, so every single citizen can vote and every single vote is counted. We will end the practice of members of Congress choosing their own voters. No more gerrymandering in the United States, racial, political, or otherwise. We're going to get big money out of politics. No PACs, no corporations. And if we need a constitutional amendment to show that corporations are not people, and money is not speech, and corporations cannot spend unlimited amounts, then so be it. And in every single state of this country, same-day voter registration and automatic voter registration, so that we bring everyone into our democracy. It is the only way that this country will be up to this moment, to this set of challenges, and so that we can tell our kids, or so that they can look back on us with pride instead of disappointment. And when we face this moment of all moments, we were up to the test, and we brought this country together. I'll sign an executive order on the first day in office requiring every single cabinet secretary to hold a town hall meeting like this every single month, to listen to you and to be accountable to you so that we deliver for you. Democracy is what we need if this country is going to make it.
At least 25 people in this administration had been denied security clearances. Yeah, why? Oh, because they had ties to foreign governments, because they had conflicts of interest, because they had financial problems that made them vulnerable. The Trump administration is a walking, talking, living, breathing threat to national security.
I understand, and we all understand, that there is a division in this country. But what I really don't understand and don't accept is the hypocrisy of my Republican colleagues who day after day say, you know what, we are conservative, we want to get the government off of the backs of the American people. We want a limited government. Let the American people do what they want, get government off their backs. Except when it comes to the right of a woman to control her own body.
I think it's really important that we have a nominee who can talk to all of America and really identify what's going on, because people across America, no matter where they live, whether they live in the Bronx, whether they lived in Long Island, whether they lived in upstate New York, no matter where they lived in my state, they feel left behind, deeply, deeply left behind. So you need an economy that can grow for all of us. You need access to higher education no matter what block you grow up on. You need better public schools. You need universal pre-K, affordable daycare. You need to be able to have good public schools and higher ed. So how about one big idea? How about telling any young person in America today, if you are willing to do a year of public service, you get 2 years of community college or state school free. If you are willing to do 2 years of public service, you get 4 years free. And the reason why this is such a good idea, because of two things. Number one, we need people in public service desperately. We need the next generation of teachers. We need the next generation of nurses and home health aides. We need people trained in the green jobs of the future in STEM subjects. We need first responders, and we need more people to enter the military. It's an expansion of the GI Bill. It will work, and it will change the heart of America. So the anecdote to President Trump, who has spewed hate and division for the last 2 years he's been in office, is to take and ask America's young people, ask what you can do for America, not what America can do for you. And that's the truth of it. And so when they do public service, their hearts are changed, and we change the character of this nation in a generation.
We get things done in my state. We just don't talk about it. We know that the main thing we got to do is raise people's wages in this country so that people can feed their kids. And that's why I'm happy to stand as the governor with the highest minimum wage in the United States, tied with Massachusetts. I'm the first governor who has not only legalized marijuana, we need to do that nationally, but I've offered pardons to 3,500 people so they can clear their records and get a job and feed their family. And I'm glad we're getting rid of the death penalty. I'm glad we banned the box. And I'm happy to tell you I'm happy to tell you, I was the first governor to stand up against Donald Trump's Muslim ban. I'm proud of that. We got to do some more work.
Campaign finance reform is important, but understand, money seeps through this town a lot more than just in campaigns. It's here all the way. It's here with the lobbyists. It's here with the lawyers. There's not a decision that gets made in this town over on Capitol Hill that there's not somebody in the room watching out for the wealthy and the well-connected. And so my view on this is we got to fight back against this on all fronts. But a good place to start right now in a Democratic primary is to start by asking candidates where their money comes from. And I think that's the right thing to do. I take not only no corporate PAC money, I don't take PAC money of any kind. I just don't take it. I don't take any Washington lobbyist money of any kind. And I'm not out sucking up to a bunch of billionaires hoping that they're going to run a super PAC for me. I'm not doing it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.